Very quickly, guys, before we start, if you want to join us on the school community, it is $49 a month or £38 per month. It's all the content that you could ever imagine: stream platform shows, documentaries, series, etc. We got everything on there. We do live calls Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The supplements will be back in stock very soon, and the fashion line is going live very soon. So keep an eye out for that. But come and join us on school for all of those updates. And if you want to join me here at 1M House, £169 per month or £2 per year. So all the links are below. Now, let's get straight into the video, guys. So this video is about paying the cost to be the boss. Okay, to get to that top level, you need to pay some sort of trade-off, some sort of price. Now, whatever that might be will be different for different people. So for some people, it's going to be time. For some people, it's going to be a huge money investment. For some people, it's going to be broken relationships, friendships, getting rid of family members and stuff like that, not talking to them again or whatever. Whatever it is going to be different for you. It might be leaving a certain area to get to a certain level, to get away from negative influences. Like, the cost has to be paid. Now, it has to be paid sometimes, multiple times. So everything that I just mentioned, it might be all of that rolled up into one big ball, right? And people, this is the point of the video. A lot of you guys are going day to day feeling negative. You're like, oh, I'm going through shit. Life's tough. It's difficult. Woe is me. I feel so bad. Like, this is terrible. I wish things were amazing. No, you don't. I'm telling you, you don't. Because in order to become who you need to be, you need to go through the shit. And I'll give you an example. Most people who win the lottery are broke within a few years. Most of the guys in the NFL have got no money left after their career, about 5 years after their career ends. Most music artists don't know how to handle their money. They're getting it stripped away from them. They have no idea what they're doing. And a lot of these people, they haven't paid the cost to be the boss. Okay, if you've got crazy talent and somebody goes, you will sign you up, you haven't been through those experiences. If you've won the lottery, which is the perfect example, and you've just been given like 10 million up front, you don't know what to do with that money. You don't know how to handle it. You haven't paid the cost to be the boss. You haven't got the right mentality. It's like a lot of these crypto millionaires. They made a shit ton of money off one coin, but to everybody else around them, they're just some sucker with money that they can get that money off of. Dan Bilzerian spoke about this before. He said when he used to go into, when he used to, be playing cards with people and whatnot, he'd sit down when he'd be playing poker. And they'd be like, oh, trust fund kid, let's just take all the money from him. And that played into his advantage. But that is how people will look at you. If you didn't go through the struggles, if you didn't go through all the years and years of torment, because that's what it is. It's years and years of torment. It's years and years of just not particularly enjoying it. Do you know what I mean? It's not particularly it's not really where I want to be. This isn't the life I want to be living. Like I've said to you guys before, I've wanted to do vlogs for years. The reason I haven't done vlogs is because my life is fucking boring. I would just sit at a desk all day. That's all I did. I just sat. Is that too bright, guys? I should probably turn that off. Hang on. Let me see if I can. That might help. The reason I hadn't done vlogs and stuff, I just sat at my desk all day. I was just answering emails. I was just dealing with like product stuff. I was making videos. I wasn't really doing anything too exciting. So I was just like, I can't really do it. So was I living the life that I wanted to? No. Was I really enjoying it? Not really. Like I was kind of like, it was better than being in a 9-to-5 job, but I wasn't really enjoying it compared to like what's going on now and how fun this shit is. But a lot of you guys have got to remember, okay? So a lot of you are there and you're going, oh, today's a tough day. Today's difficult. Oh, I hate today. I wish my life was different. I mean, like, you can't do that. You got to embrace these tough moments. You've got to enjoy it, guys, because what you're going through today, you're paying the cost to be the boss. When you're going through all this shit, it's hardening you, it's mentally toughening you, it's rewiring your brain to operate in a different way. Like we had a guy on the school community recently and he was like, I hate the class that I'm about to go into. Should I go in? And I was like, yeah, for discipline purposes. If you hate it, that gives you more reason to go in, because then it means that you're gonna be the type of person who does something they don't like doing. That's paying the cost to be the boss. Okay, like along the way, like I've done a lot of shit I didn't want to do. Truth be told, building this house, I didn't want to build this house. It was fucking knackering. I'd rather have just paid somebody and whatnot. I lost 10 kilograms building this house. But guess what? Now I'm sat in this house and I'm enjoying this house. And then I jump in my car, I drive down to Granada, I have the time of my life, I come back, I eat food, I watch TV, I've got a warm bed to jump into, the house is beautiful, I'm having a shower in a 30 grand bathroom, like, having a swim, using the gym, using the sauna, as you can see behind me. That was paying the cost to be the boss. You know, those 3 months of just consistent construction in 40-degree heat. Didn't want to do it, but I had to do it. And that's refined me. Going through all of that and doing what I had to do has made me who I am today. And Alex Hormozi says, like, anybody that you admire, they have traits of somebody that has gone through a ton of shit. Like, if you were to design the perfect human, I think he said, you would pick somebody who has been through some horrible shit, because that gives you traits that you require to get to the top level, to be disciplined, to be focused, to have that killer's mindset. Every day, like the next time you're going through something, maybe it's today, maybe it will be tomorrow, maybe something bad will happen. I want you to sit there and smile. I want you to think to yourself in that exact moment, this is good, because if I get through this, I'm going to be a better person off the back of it. Every single thing that you're going through, every single thing that you're struggling with, every single thing that you're mentally dealing with today, it's going to make you who you need to be in the future. And nobody sees it that way. Everyone sees it as, oh, I got to do this shit for now. Like, I wish I was a millionaire. I can't wait till like next year. And it's just like, just embrace what you're going through. When people say enjoy the journey, that's more how I see it. Is like, yeah, I'm going through some shit right now. Yeah, this is difficult right now. But fuck, this is what's going to make me into the man that I need to be. And then, you know, when you get to the stage, like I'll give you an example today, went down to, there's, I don't know if I can go into detail about this, but just a good female interaction with somebody that, you know, many of us who have been to One M House have spotted at a restaurant where it's like, who the hell is that? And one of the guys who actually watches this content that works there, he said to me today, he was like, I've never seen her respond to anybody like that. She's one of the most loyal people in the world. She's got a boyfriend and she's just like ready to leave him for you. How does that happen? I was like, you know, in so many words, I paid the cost to be able to do that. You know, the years of body language analysis, the years of like studying, the years of rejection, I've paid that cost to be able to just stroll in and just go, you, I like you. And then just, you know, get a number and stroll away. That doesn't come easily. That doesn't just happen overnight. That's something that's been crafted over years and years and years. And then, like I said, you've paid the cost to be the boss, and then that's a good feeling. You know, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Nobody wants to go through all that shit. And let me explain that saying, heavy is the head that wears the crown. You've gone through so many things, you know about so many things, like it's just blocked up in here, like the amount of shit that you've gone through and the amount of things you have to think about every single day that people don't see, that is below surface level, that you have to deal with. And if you didn't do that, the whole fucking thing would collapse. People think it's easy. People think it's very much just, oh, you make good money, you spend good money, you enjoy yourself, you buy cool shit, you get laid, and it's just like, no idea how many small things that you have to do every day that if you didn't do would destroy everything. Like everything would just crumble if you weren't doing it. And that's heavy is the head that wears the crown, because you're having to deal with stress that nobody can see, and then you're having to hide it from the world. You can't do that overnight. You're not going to do that at 18. It's going to take you years and years and years of like, you know, you look as though you've just got off the beach and you look fantastic. You look as though you've just come out of a spa and you look fantastic. And it's like, no, in reality, I'm dealing with so much stuff behind the scenes all the time. It's just nobody gets to see that. And that is what it is by paying the cost to be the boss. You get to a certain high level mentally where you just know how to handle all this stuff. Oh, I'm going through it. Oh, it's so difficult right now. Good. Embrace it. Because what you're going through right now, as difficult as it is, as horrible as it feels, as much as it feels as though it's only you going through it, isn't that a good thing? Like this sounds kind of sadistic, but, you know, in a way, was I lucky that I lost people young? Would I bring them back? Of course I'd fucking bring them back in a heartbeat. It's people that I loved. I lost my best friend at 18, and I lost my dad when I was 28. But, you know, would I be who I am today? And it's a sadistic way to look at things. And it's like, obviously, given the choice, I'd fucking bring them back tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? I'd say, like, let's not be stupid here. Like, let's bring them back. But who I've become because of those moments, which are the two worst moments in my life, has made me into who I am today. And you can't think about it like that at the time, because, you know, you can't even really think about it in hindsight. Like, oh, I'm glad that, because you're not glad it happened. Do you know what I mean? but you had no control over it. So if you've got no control over it, you might as well find a silver lining on the other side. Do you know what I mean? Like the months that have passed, the years that have passed, you might as well sit there and go, upon reflection, if there's any silver lining that's come out of this, who I am as a man now because of what I've been through has made me into what I am today, has given me what I have today, has allowed me to have the confidence that I have today. You wouldn't have that without those experiences. So your darkest day, the worst thing that's ever happened to you, you might get dumped, lose your job, and break your leg on the same day, and then you're just like, oh my God, I'm going to lose all my fitness gains. I've lost my girlfriend. I look like shit. I can't do anything about it. I currently can't even walk. I'm currently in a hospital bed and I've lost my job and I've got no way of earning. I'm panicking and whatnot. You've got to think, right? Your hardest day, you've gotten through, right? So the hardest day that you've ever been through, you've already gotten through. So if this is your new hardest day, chances are you're going to get through that too. And at the time, it feels like you never will. At the time, it feels horrible. But chances are you will look back in a year and go, wow, that experience that I went through taught me so much. And things can't go bad forever. I mean, if I flipped a coin and I got heads 50 times in a row, I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Am I in the Matrix? Is this a simulation? At some point, I'm expecting tails. I know it's a 50-50 chance every time, but at some point, I'm like, it's got to be. It has to be. Tails, brilliant. Okay, my luck's going to turn now. Everything's going to go the other way. And just staying in that game is so important. And people don't see it. Like I said, it's like, oh, this is difficult. I'm currently lifting some weights and it's hurting my body. I'm doing some sprints and I'm too tired to run. I'm going to pass out. I can't breathe. Like, those are the moments you have to embrace, because you have to think to yourself, I'm growing. These are the moments where I'm growing in. I mean, I did something recently where I was at the bottom of this hill, and I hate running up this fucking hill. It kills me. It's a massive hill, right, in my hometown. It goes on for like 800 meters, and I go from bottom to top. And I was at the bottom of the hill, and I was hesitating. And I remember I said in my head, I was like, I'm not afraid of the pain that's about to come. And I went, go. And I just started running up the hill, and the whole way up, I was just like, I'm not afraid of the pain. Like, it's not a problem. Like, I'll embrace it. I actually enjoy it. And it puts you in like this devil-like state, this sadistic-like state, where you're actually smiling through the pain. But by the time I got to the top, I was like, it wasn't so bad. It wasn't so difficult. I actually fucking enjoyed it. Like, that was cool. And it's the fear of, oh, it's going to hurt, it's going to be painful and whatnot. You should embrace those moments, because as I'm running up the hill, I'm thinking, oh, I'm loving this. And I'm becoming somebody who can get through these tougher moments. I'm becoming somebody who can handle that level of pain with ease. I'm becoming stronger. My cardio is getting better. I'm becoming mentally tougher. This is making me a better person. I'm becoming fitter. My face is becoming leaner. And I'm running up that hill and I'm thinking I'm growing as a man as I'm going through pain. And here's the thing, guys. You're paying the cost to be the boss. Yeah, to get laid, to have the nice car, to have whatever. But you got to remember, you're paying that cost so you can raise your son and daughter the right way, so you can protect your family. Like, people forget about that shit. Like, you might be 18 watching this thinking, doesn't bother me right now. I get it, but I'm 32. And I think all the things that I'm going through right now, I'm going to be able to teach my son. And I'm going to be very transparent with you right now. This last few weeks have been difficult. There's a lot of changes. There's a lot of things that I'm doing. I'm doing 101 things at once, and it's very stressful, and I'm embracing it. I was lifting weights earlier. I always get depression on a Sunday. I know how to handle it. It's not a problem. And I had a great day today. But I was lifting weights this morning. And when I was out there, I said out loud, I was like, fuck, I miss my dad. And I was like, I really miss my dad. My dad lived in Spain. He would probably be here now. Me and him could be hanging out. We could be just having a chat. Just, you know, you've got somebody older and wiser than you to bounce off, somebody that you really trust, somebody that's going to tell you the right thing because he has no agenda against me. My dad wants me to win. And I was like, fuck, I really miss my dad. I said it out loud. I was like, I really do miss him. And then I thought to myself, do you know what? I was like, my dad's here with me right now. And I don't mean that in a spiritual sense. I really, like, what I meant by that, guys, and I said this out loud as well, I was like, but my dad is here. Do you know why? Because my dad is me. And what I meant by that was everything that my dad taught me along the way, all the lessons that he's teaching me, all the things that, the pieces of life advice that I now pass on to you guys, the lessons that I give you guys, this whole channel. I wouldn't be this man if it wasn't for him. I wouldn't have this mindset if it wasn't for him. I wouldn't think this way if it wasn't for him. I wouldn't operate this way if it wasn't for him. Every time we had a school sports day and he made me do hill sprints to make sure I won. Every pre-season when he made me run so much that I thought I was going to pass out. When I still do hill sprints today, him saying to me, come on, get up, you lazy bastard. Like, I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for that. Dan Pena always said, Dan Pena's brother said, if my dad beat me as much as he beat Dan, I would be as successful as Dan. And that's why I still think my dad is with me today, because I'm him. I've taken on the best of what he's taught me. He has armed me with everything that I would need to succeed in this world. So then it hit me. I was like, all the stuff that you're going through right now, embrace it. Embrace it. I was like, your dad is with you right now. He's prepared you for this. He's made you into the man that you are today. You have all the tools. And I thought to myself, what you're going through is making you grow. You're getting better. Like, look who you are today. Everything that you're working on right now, imagine where you're going to be in 6 months. Like, imagine who you're going to be in 6 months. Imagine who you're going to be this time next year. Imagine what you're going to be able to teach the guys. And I was just like, shit, this is something that I should be happy about. This is something that I should embrace. Then I thought, I'm going to be able to pass on those lessons to my son. So all the things my dad went through, all the things I went through, all the things my granddad went through and taught my dad, I'm going to be able to pass them on to my son. Imagine how much of a beast that little kid's going to be. Imagine, like, who I'm crafting myself to be now. I'm going to be able to protect my family. I'm going to be able to protect my kids. All the rounds of boxing that I've done, all of the fitness work I've done, all the strength training that I've done. I'm lifting 50 kg dumbbells this morning, and I'm just like, fuck am I doing this for? Why am I adding this to my day? It's already tiring. But that strength allows you to protect the house. It allows you to lift them up. It allows you to be in better shape. You look better for your wife, Sex is better, whatever. It doesn't, everything that you're doing, those hill sprints that you're doing, you're able to protect them. You're going to be healthier and stuff like that. And all the work you put in on business, the more money you make, you're like, I am going to be that provider. I am going to be that guy. And, it's going to sound bad, but women and children don't need to go through that level of stress. It's a man's job to go through that level of stress. It's a man's job to get some grey hairs and a bald head, because he has to go through the shit. I don't want my kids to have to go through shit. I want them to become good people, but I don't want them to go through shit. I don't like seeing people I love suffer. I don't like it. I try and take on that pain. I try and take on that responsibility. I don't want my partner, whoever, wife, girlfriend, whatever it's going to end up being, I don't want her to have to struggle. I really don't. I want her to have a nice, easy life and remain beautiful for the rest of her life and not have to go through the stress. I don't want to reveal things to my family. I want to be able to go through it, deal with it, handle it, come out the other side and just think to myself, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Well, your heads are light as hell. You don't need to think about this shit. I'll deal with it. I'll handle all of this. I'll protect the family. I'll keep it mentally locked in. All you need to know is it's done. You don't need to know how I did it. You just need to know it's done. That excites me as a man. That excites me, the journey that I'm going through, who I'm crafting myself into every single day, who I'm going to be in the future. That excites me, guys. And you guys have got to embrace that and realize you are currently paying the cost to be the boss. If you don't want to pay it, jump out. You don't have to pay it. That's the beauty of this. You can jump out whenever you want, and you can say, fuck it. I don't even want to be the guy. I don't even want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy who pulls up in a nice car, has women smiling at him, he's well dressed, he can afford anything he wants, rolls into a venue and everyone's wondering who the fuck is that person. And you're in the best shape, nobody wants to fuck with you. You go home with the most beautiful woman's number. You have that option of meeting up with her. When you do, you're confident, you don't care, because you go, well, I've been through so much shit, she doesn't scare me. I've been on so many dates and rejections, I've messed up so many times, none of this shit scares me. If you don't want to go through all of that, you don't have to. But if you do, who you come out the other side as is a monster, is an absolute monster. You're somebody who runs society. You're somebody who's been through absolutely everything at least 10 times. So when it hits you again, you're like, this is easy, guys. I know exactly what to do at every given moment. That's somebody who I want to be. I don't know about you guys, but that's somebody who I think I've already become, but that's somebody who I want to be even more so, where if I spot flaws in myself, I want to address them. I want people to be honest and say, you're not good at that. I want people to tell me. I want people to say you were a dick in that moment. I want to grow. I want to learn. I want to pay the cost to be the boss. I want to be the boss in my family life. I want to be the boss in life. I want to be the boss in work. I want responsibility. I want struggles. I want difficulties. I want to stay sharp. I want my edge to be there. I want to lift heavy weights every day. I want to do hill sprints. I want to be tired. I want to hurt. I want to embrace rejection. I want to be told no a few times. It's nice as a man. I want to be smacked in the fucking face by somebody at some point. I want it to hurt. I want to come back the other way and batter that little shit. I love all that. I want to get beaten up in sparring and come back in 4 weeks' time and smash that guy to pieces and say, yeah, I told you. Like, you didn't grow, I grew. I came back better. I love that. I love that competition. I think too many of you are fearful of it. I think too many of you are thinking life's going to be easy. I think too many of you aren't willing to pay the cost. There's always going to be a cost. Get over it. Deal with it. You know, shit's going to go wrong. Oh, I've been through this, right? I was in love with this woman. I was with her for 4 years. We lived together. And I just got to the point where I was like, I'm wasting your time. I'm going nowhere in life. I need to go and focus on myself. Let's break up. Went our separate ways. Hurt me to the fucking core. You know, it was me, her, and the dog. I love both of them so much. I was just like, I'm gone. I'm going to have to go. It'll be better for both of us. And you just have to do shit like that. What did I do? I went straight back to that garage, the other garage, and I just worked my balls off for 2 years, flat out. Had nothing, literally had nothing. It just worked and worked and worked and just did what I had to do to get to the level that I needed to get to, because I realized I'm not the man that can provide for this family. I'm wasting her time. I'm not who I'm supposed to be. Okay, embrace it. Was it shit? Yeah. When I was leaving London in the car and I was looking around at all the nice areas that I've been to and the views, and it was COVID at the time, so it was empty. So I was seeing all of that shit just fresh. I was like, this sucks. I don't want to leave here. My whole life was there. Everything that I wanted was there. I didn't fall out of love with the woman. I still wanted that lifestyle, but I said, this is the right decision. This is what I have to do. I have to pay this horrible fucking cost. As expensive as it is, I'm having to pay it. You know, it could be metaphorical. It can be a real cost. It can be mistakes that you've made that you have to sit there and embrace and say, you know, I've got to die with this. Live by the sword, die by the sword. It was one of my dad's favorite quotes. And he said, you know, if you're going to make a decision based on this, be ready to deal with those same consequences. You know, if you're going to walk around a place acting like a tough guy, if somebody tries to test that, live by the sword, die by the sword. If you're going to go into business and take on financial risks, and then some shit happens to you and you're in debt, live by the sword, die by the sword. What, you expected that not to happen? Things can go wrong, and things go wrong pretty often. It doesn't always go right. Everyone gets into business. Everyone gets into a 9-to-5 job. Pictures best case scenario. Well, guess what? It takes a long fucking time to get to best case scenario. It's very difficult. You're going up, you're going down. Nobody comes into the game, makes a ton of money, and then leaves. You look at something like Alex Hormozi, who made a shit ton of money, messed it all up, and then had to make it again. I saw a video recently. They asked this guy, how'd you get this Rolls Royce? Were you ever poor? He was like, yeah. He was like, I was poor. And then he was like, then I made millions. Then I lost it all. And then I made it all back. And I put some systems in place to make sure that would never happen again. Guy's in his 50s. Got his life sorted, handled it for his family. And when he said those words, I put some systems in place to make sure this would never happen again. He said we put some systems in place to make sure it's never happen again. That's something somebody says with the family. That's something somebody says to protect, to make sure, you know. I went for it. I took some risks. I was outlandish. I learned a lot from it. I can't let that happen again. People are relying on me. I have dependents. I'm the man of this family. I'm wearing the crown. People look up to me. People expect me to make the right decisions. I have to be better. And he's built on that. Now he's in his 50s, worth 40, 50 million. And he's built an empire. I love that sort of shit. I think every man should try and go after that. I think every man should embrace that feeling of, my 20s are going to be disgusting. This is horrible. I'm going through so much shit. I fucking love it. I remember when I was on site and I used to be a labourer. And I'd be wheelbarrowing and I'd fucking hate it. And it was the hardest experience ever. And it was pissing down with rain. I was covered in mud. And the boss was like, come on, hurry up. And he got a 6-foot skip and I had to go up that shit. And I slipped and it would go on the floor and I'd have to shovel it all back in. And the pain was horrible. And I was tired and I was hungry and I was smiling. And I remember saying to myself, I was like, I love this fucking shit. I mean, that's where I started embracing the word sadistic. I know it's a weird place, but Mike Tyson spoke about it recently, but with Francis Ngannou. He said, well, I think it may be within a year, he said to him, you're favored by God. And Ngannou was like, yeah. He said, but the bad news is you're also favored by the devil. He said, and you got to leave with the guy who got you to the dance. And sometimes I sit there and I think to myself, I've got something really bad inside of me that just gets me through the worst fucking moments. And if that gets me to my end goal, and then I can be a lovely human being, I can look after people, I can protect people, and I can be, a lot more angelic in nature. I can, be more of a Samaritan, then so be it. But if I have to embrace the fucking devil to get there, then so be it. I'll do that too, if that's what it takes. And I spoke with one of my friends recently, and he said, I'm a fucking psychopath when it comes to my kids. And I really related to him, even though I haven't got kids, because I feel the same about my family. Once my dad died, I was like, I had an out-of-body moment. I've got to explain this to you guys. I shrank. My dad died. I walked into the living room and I was just there and I was just looking, and the world got massive. It got really big and I shrank. And I don't know how to explain this to you guys, but for about 20 seconds, I was a little boy. And I remember looking up and looking around and thinking, shit, I'm on my own here. I was like, I'm on my own. I've got nobody. I've got nobody to rely on. I've got nobody to look up to. Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I remember I had this out of body experience where, guys, I was panicking. And it was like the world went bird's eye view and was looking down on me. It was the weirdest feeling. I remember it like it was yesterday. And then I went and like snapped out of it. And I was like, fuck it. I was like, you're the man of the family now. Step up. And that was it. Honestly, it was the weirdest moment. I wish I could play it in my head to you guys. I've never had anything like that in my life. Out of body experience. I was a little boy and I was looking up and the world was huge and I panicked. It was so weird, guys. I felt like I was about 8 years old and I was looking around and I was just like this. It was really strange, and I just went, no, fuck it. You're the man now. Step up. This is your job. This is your duty. This is your calling. This is your destiny. I was like, this is what your dad has trained you for all these years. This is what he's prepped you for. And I had the same feeling in the gym today. When I said I miss my dad, I was like, yeah, I do miss my dad, but he's here with me because I am him. Everything that he's taught me, everything that he's given me every tool in the tool bag that I will ever need to become the man that I need to be. Well, guess what? When I'm going through shit, when I'm going through difficult days, I remember that. And I think I am fully equipped to get through this and get to the other side. And so are you guys. And if you're not, find those fucking tools. Pay the cost to get those tools. Go through whatever you need to go through, embrace it, make life harder, make life more difficult for yourself. Next time you're going through the most difficult day of your life, sit there and think, what did Chris say? Chris said this is a good thing. Why is it a good thing? Because I'm becoming better because of this. I'm growing, I'm learning. Who am I going to be in a year? Who am I going to be in 2 years? Who am I going to be if I do get through this? That's what you need to ask yourself. Well, guess what? I'll tell you who you're going to be. You're going to be the boss because you've paid the cost. You're going to be the king. Heavy is that head that wears the crown. Not everyone has the neck strength for it. Not everyone's ready to go. Not everyone can embrace that shit. I enjoy it. I don't know why. I don't know how I got to that stage. But it's a nice feeling. It makes me feel like a man. It makes me realize that I am that protector. It makes me realize that what our ancestors went through and everything that they, had to battle through so that we were alive today. This is our version. This is our battleground. This is how we do it. We just do it in more of a mental than a physical way. Obviously, you can do your training and whatnot, but ours is very mental. It's very financial. That's what we have to battle through. Well, guess what? That's the sword and the shield of this era. Mental and financial. And that's your battle. This is your great battle, guys. This is the one that you have to win. The barbarians are at the gate. Grab your shield, grab your sword, and fucking fight.